The Ramla Bay master plan has been revealed. Ormy is in mourning after beloved 15-year-old Charlie's Juice dies, and a motorcyclist has also died on the coast road in a crash. All this and more on Lovin Daily. Good evening, Malta and Gozo. Johnathan, Cilia here, joined by Julian, Bonnici. Today we've got some pretty big news as well as updates from the island. Before we jump into today's top stories, if you missed it, we've just published a really interesting new, brand spanking new interview between Lovin Malta and European Parliament President Roberta Metsola to give us the latest updates on the Russian-Ukraine saga. So definitely check that out. It's on Lovin Malta's Facebook page. But before that, Julian is here with details on today's top story. Julian?
Yeah, so our top stories are actually in Malta. It's taking place on the sister island of Gozo. One of that island's most popular beaches, Ramla Bay, is set to face a major revamp, which will include the construction of new facilities in the area. A new master plan for the area shows. So the master plan was submitted on the Planning Authority's website on behalf of the Gozo Ministry with some really interesting renders. You can all check out those images on the article itself on lovinmalta.com. But for those of you who haven't read the article yet, the proposed plans will see the new kiosks, a new public convenience, storage facilities, an ERRC clinic, that's an emergency clinic, and a police station constructed in the little area before you actually enter the bay itself. According to the renders, that little area is set for massive changes, with the buildings currently occupying the space set to expand and modernize, and obviously in order to cater, for all the tourists, all the loads of people, Gotans and Maltese alike, who like to visit the bay. Now, obviously, we'll have to wait to see until it's developed a little bit more and we get a bit more details on the plans, but it appears that for now, the bay itself will remain untouched during the works. Obviously, for Maltese tourists, Gotans, the beach is a really special place. So obviously there were many concerns about the eco damage that this project could use. The proposed master plan was actually initially announced in 2019. However, back then it said that the proposed works would also tackle traffic management in the area. For anyone who's ever been down there, you know exactly what a nightmare it is. However, there is actually no mention of traffic works yet in the plan, so be sure to keep a lookout, eagle eye on some government proposals coming in the next few weeks. The application is currently pending a recommendation from the PA's case officer. For those of you who want to check it out, the PA number is 02977-22, and you can actually file objections for the project until 3rd June. John, a lot of mixed reactions online. What do you think about it?
It's very interesting. So if you haven't seen the renders, definitely check the renders out. We've published them this morning, an article published by Julian himself. So when we broke the story this morning, there was lots of reactions online. So a lot of people were saying, leave your hands off the area, off the bay, why build it up, leave it as it is in its natural state. However, other people said, listen, kiosks, public convenience, storage facilities, these are things that, any proper modern bay should have. So very mixed reactions. Let us know in the comments below what you think should happen in Ramla Bay. Moving on to the next story, a bit of a tragic story coming from Ormy. The central Maltese town is in mourning after one of their very own 15-year-old Charlie's Juice passed away earlier this week. There were countless tributes online from Minister Rodriguez, who's from Ormy, as well as from Putinu Cares, the organization that often works with children with cancer, as well as the families of those dealing with cancer. There were some beautiful tributes to Charlie's. Clearly, she has touched many, many people in her time alive. She's being remembered as a beautiful soul who taught her loved ones and her friends and family the importance of staying strong, being patient, and showing determination in the face of challenges and difficult times. There were some beautiful things online. Putinu Cares themselves shared a tribute video to Charlie's, which we included in our article on her story. So definitely check that out. And if you know her or you knew her and you wanted to show some respect to her, the funeral for Charlie's will be held tomorrow in the San Bastian Church in Ormy at 8:30 a.m. and it is being described as a celebration of her life.
Yeah, and of course, Lovin Malta sends its sincere condolences to Shalice's family, friends, relatives, all the people she knew and all the lives she touched. Rest in peace from us over here. On to our next story, I read another tragic story in Malta. A 35-year-old man has died after losing control of his motorcycle, colliding with a crash barrier along the infamous Coast Road. The victim, who is a French national residing in Cilia, was caught between the barrier while his bike spun out of control. It skidded along the road several meters before eventually hitting the trees on the opposite side. The incident took place in the early hours of the morning at 3 a.m., as I said, on the Coast Road. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Coast Road is one of the most dangerous roads in Malta. I think statistics prove that as well. Very sad that this incident happened, I think, less than 2 weeks after speed cameras were employed on that very same area. Maybe, obviously, maybe more work needs to be done to ensure enforcement over there. Police investigations are ongoing at the moment, so obviously we'll see how this all develops.
Yeah, no, if you're going to be on the Maltese roads, definitely stay safe out there. Moving on to the next story, and a traffic-related story as well, talking about vehicles. Cars belonging to people living in our residents have once again fallen victim to vandalism. So images were shared online, and we've also shared them on lovinmalta.com, showing everything from the sides of cars being keyed to large rocks being thrown through the rear windows. Some residents actually spoke to Lovin Malta saying, listen, this is the second time this has happened to us within a month. One resident even said that they went to the police station to make a police report and found 10 other residents there to make similar reports. Just goes to show the breadth of the victims being attacked and targeted by these vandals. So vandalism on vehicles in Malta is not uncommon, unfortunately. I mean, just on the 16th of April, we reported on more acts of vandalism. So this is very, very concerning. And this is in St. Paul's Bay, one of the biggest localities in Malta. There's a mix of communities there as well. So I do hope, with how often this is happening, that authorities, that the police, the district police in the area, do start ramping it up, especially in this street, Tri Il Port Roman. I mean, if you're telling me that residents have faced vandalism twice within a month, clearly something needs to be done.
Yeah, and unfortunately, as you mentioned, we literally reported about vandalism in St. Paul's Bay, our area, 2 weeks ago, and the same incident is happening again. As you mentioned as well, St. Paul's Bay is the largest locality in Malta, has so many problems, and at the moment it kind of seems like it's being ignored. I really wish, maybe not just the police, but the Home Affairs Ministry, the authorities, really take some attention on St. Paul's Bay before it potentially spirals out of control. On to our last story, a little bit of a positive one from our end. Maria Elek, who is Malta's first blind artist, has published a book that brings together a collection of works from visually impaired artists. The book, which is called The Art Beyond Light Project, sees like a number of talented artists sort of express their imagination in such a pure form. Maria is the founder of Beyond Light, which is a visual and non-visual network that helps promote the independence of people who have some form of visual impairment, certain degrees, all stress around. She said some really nice words, about the project, sort of saying, this is a quote, "Our darkness roots and the meaningful dynamics are shown in our own Maltese blind art collection. It will hopefully improve our local art collections with joyfulness and love." She's already well known for making paintings herself and is very active in the community. And from the images that she sent over, you can check them out on lovinmalta.com. The pictures look pretty incredible, to say the least. It raises awareness, a really lovely project. What do you think about it all, John?
More local talent. We're always happy to support that here, So if you want to get your hands on a copy of the book yourself, you just need to send an email to Faruja23rd. So that's Faruja23rd @gmail.com, and you can get your very own copy. And if you guys are aware of other kind of projects like this, definitely let us know about it. We're always happy to support these kind of awesome ideas. I think that brings us to the end of today's episode. From myself and Julian, as always, have an evening full of lovin'.